So let's be honest, 90% of today's underground artists would not survive in the 2016 era of rap. My first point being, there was no room for mid. 2016, 2017, it was a different era for rap, and it was a different lane for rap in general. Artists like Trippie, X, Uzi, Cardi, 21 Savage, Kodak Black, Yachty, I can go on. That time period had timeless artists. And I say timeless artists because even if some of those artists might not be popping right now, their names are still being talked about, which says a lot. But to make my point, everybody sounded different and everybody had their own unique lane, and there was no room for mid. There was no room for sounding the same. Now, it's so much easier to sound like another artist and still get support and still get growth. Now, is that growth as large and as big as 2016's time period was? Absolutely not at all. But you could still get that support today. And I believe that a lot of the artists who we see right now aren't really as big as they seem. They're not really as strong when it comes to their fan bases and their music as they seem. And they're not as great as they seem. Because if you were to put any of today's underground rap artists or any of today's rap artists, if you want me to be honest, during that time period, many of them wouldn't last. And you can't bring up the conversation of people who are mainstream right now, like a Tyler the Creator, a Kendrick Lamar, because those are artists who have been in the game for years. So they're not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the underground rappers that we're getting into the mainstream and that we're getting right now. So that leads me to my second point, which is today's underground is filled with clones. Today's underground is filled with so many artists who just sound the same. Same flows, same beats, same aesthetics. And most of these artists rely on TikTok aesthetics and fan pages to really grow them and boost them up. When during the 2016 time period and I'm gonna honestly say between 2016 and 2018, a lot of these artists, they needed real people, right? Because at this time, rap was really developing into something else, and not a lot of people who were interested in rap or people in general really trusted people like Uzi, really trusted people like Yachty. They were looked at as the bad kids, the people who were going against the grain, and nobody really liked that. Today, you can go against the grain. People might actually reward you for it, but people aren't doing that right now. The 2016 era, it was a time period where artists were forced to be different. You had to have identity. You had to be unique. You had to have good, solid music. When now I feel like you don't need that real solid music. You don't need those hits coming hit after hit after hit to get support. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. That just means that the ground is open for more artists to grow. But that also means that because so many artists, because the bar has been set so extremely low right now, we don't get a lot of hit mainstream artists or underground artists who actually last and get pushed into the mainstream for years to come. During that 2016 to 2017, even 2018 era, you had to make good music. You needed to have songs that hit outside of the bubble, not just songs that people on Discord and people on SoundCloud are loving. And I think that's the difference between today's underground and 2016 underground class. I don't think a single one of them could last back then. I really don't think any of them. We can name a bunch of them, but it's pointless because none of them would be able to survive back then. But the big question is, what does that say about their future? What does that say about them now? Even an artist like Sofego, I don't know if he could have lasted in the 2016 to 2017 era. Some people might argue with me with that. If you want to, let's have a discussion in the comments. So the question is, could any of today's underground rap artists, can any of today's artists actually survive during that 2016 era? And I think it's a really important question to ask because it says a lot about who we're supporting. It says a lot about why we're supporting what we're supporting. And the question attaches to these artists had no choice to be themselves. They had no choice to be original because they couldn't be like their past selves because rap was really starting to be on a downward trajectory, and 2016 saved that. So I don't know. Let me know who you think would have made it in 2016, 2017, even 2018, and let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to have a discussion with you. If you're new here, please make sure to subscribe. It's been your boy willarmani. I got more content coming on the way, and if you want to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, you can do so. Links in the bio. Stay positive. I got you.